Worldwide, over 25 million people depend on small-scale gold mining for their livelihoods. Gold mining in Ghana has existed for a very long time and is very important for the economy. Last year, a third of total gold production in Ghana came from small-scale mines, and 1.5 million people are employed in this sector. But the ways in which most gold is currently mined and processed has sizable negative consequences for both the people and the environment.
Okay, baby, ana me yajuma ewo abomusun na mining na ewo mu na ye nyusu enema bebree bi nyusu che nyusu boot ba okwa utimi pra upra nso obi enu obehwe okay hono na ebi yare ise eduru so a obi a gidigidi obi a pre no so benye sika ne bi te gidigidi bi pra piti nso bobi ema piti nso bi ebu na bi ye dwane anase bi a enema bebree taisisi te ho de na eyehu pa ukona aba na wada nyame ase ise ho na dangerous.
Your friend amasewa ma won kwaledu mi kun afiri intini na mini buafo bia nkwala ne so doso itimi koye asuagu nik eyina wo mede ne ade ne wo mitini e ma yale gugu ye ho afenso nyame amakwa utopit no na wewu ana se timi gu edigu so enti yehu sa na ye ne sa ye se free pit no tentem a na ye de abebu kun konso na ya ye de bodo atobo na ye wosi.
Gold mining in Ghana has been here for a very long time, but the way in which it's being mined now is devastating to the environment. Forest reserves being cut down, you see rivers being polluted.
Pollution has been one of the major concerns arising out of mining, and in particular small-scale mining, the irregular, illegal side of mining. You know, there's pollution of water bodies. And you know, these water bodies are not static, they move. So you have the pollution from the upstream, downstream. And it affects innocent people who do not even do mining.
These community members don't even know that these water bodies are polluted. You see children swimming in them and women engaging in some activities close to these rivers.
Dream River, and Cobra River, Densu, they all flow southwards naturally. And impacted pollution from these rivers come down to Accra and other cities. So it's something that doesn't only affect where you do the mining, it affects almost the entire country.
Despite the devastating consequences, gold mining is not going to stop. Many people who work in mining do so because they have no alternatives to earn a living. Gold is used in many products today, for instance jewelry, and it has unique features, making it indispensable in medical devices, mobile phones, and computers. That's why it's very important to make gold production more responsible. Solidaridad works worldwide towards a socially responsible, ecologically sound gold sector. Solidaridad supports mine workers on good practices, uses tools such as certification, and importantly also works with buyers, policymakers and financial institutions to increase incentives for good practices across the value chain. In Ghana, Solidaridad supports 18 artisanal gold mines in reaching these goals. Key Empire and Gold Bank are two mines that participate in the gold program.
We work to create more demand for responsible gold, but also more supply. We also work to raise awareness within the industry, with governments, but also with consumers, because they all have a role to play in transforming this sector into a more responsible gold sector.
We are working with artisanal small-scale miners because we identify a certain need, a certain problem or a set of problems within that supply chain People do not comply with best production practices. That compromises on people's health, work conditions at the mine pits, and they are also not able to optimize even the ore extraction because they are using very bad technologies.
Well, I come from a very big mining town in Ghana, Obuasi, and growing up as a child, I saw lots of mining activities around me, both legal and illegal, where you had friends working small-scale mining, illegal mining, and have pits collapse on them. So I just wanted to make this a better place for my friends and my community to work in. So I've been motivated by this to work with Solidaridad to help ASM communities and to help ASM miners. I've really loved working with these miners, and very importantly, my connection with them. I've worked as a small-scale miner myself. I feel this connection is very special. I love it, and it helps me connect with these people in the way I can relate, and it's really important for the program. Captain! They see me as one of them, and they relate to me. So Solidaridad is working with these mines to achieve certification, and we are using the Fair Mine Standard as a tool to, and guidance for these miners, and we hope that they achieve this certification standard. So we have a big certification program which has different components addressing environmental protection, organizational development, working condition, and social development. These are the key 4 areas that the Fair Mine Standards address. And these trainings are carved out of these 4 pillars of the Fair Mine Standard.
Take 2 for safety. Take 2 for safety. Safety.
Solidaridad came up with a slogan like "Take 2 for safety." Take 2 for safety. Safety. Like safety, your life is important. When we see somebody not wearing a helmet, when you say take 2, you will understand. So that slogan has been very important. And looking into the future, we're looking at Solidaridad helping us to get the Fair Mine certification. Our hope is to be recognized as one of the responsible miners. We are working on getting a shaking machine which will get rid of the mercury. After using the shaking table, you don't need to add any mercury to it. You get the real gold and that's it. And we are hoping to get rid of mercury here by the end of the year.
Mercury, which is very much used here in Ghana in trying to amalgamate the gold particles. It has a lot of hazards around its usage, but there are best practices if you want to use mercury. And there are even practices that promote mercury-free amalgamation of gold, of the ore, and to optimize ore extraction. And what we do specifically is to bring those technologies to these small-scale miners to train them in the right practices and reduce the environmental hazards that normally they would have had to experience. We say the use of mercury.
Okay, baby, I need a no. Now you use med. I med na you use rough. Bia chibi. Bia ukra. We are only ukra so be ukronsa. We are doing ukra ba betimi eja na de akwakodi. Ba e ba ha no. Ya be hu niam bebre.
Gold Bank has adopted a very, very innovative way of extracting the gold without the use of mercury. And in this process, after the regular mining activity that everybody does, that's the using the trommel, the washing plant to get the sand. They pan the sand in a basin, and a smaller basin, and after panning and getting the concentrate, they do not apply any chemical, no mercury. They try to pan it for several times and then start heating the ore with the waste on it. That's the concentrate. Once they heat the concentrate, and it exposes the minerals, the other, both gold and other metals in it. After that, they put it on a very shiny silver pan and also pan it whilst shaking it.
Very rich, yeah. Really. Yeah, 6.19, like 6 grams.
So Gold Bank resources was taken through a series of environmental management practices where they have to mine responsibly by taking the topsoil, stockpiling it, and then later fill the mine out pits and rehabilitate it. So with this process, you can see Gold Bank has a nursing area where they have these seedlings that will be planted on this rehabilitated land for the ecosystem restoration as time goes on.
In the communities where we have worked, some of the mines have closed operations, have created very big pits and depressions. What we push for and recommend is that those areas are reclaimed, and we are bringing these practices to them.
The topsoil on it. Okay. So all this place has been reclaimed?
We see ourselves as change agents, and therefore we help in raising the awareness first on the unsustainable practices and what it takes to transition from those bad practices to sustainable practices. And if we don't address these issues with all the passion and energy it takes, then we are heading towards a catastrophe. That very soon, as they even say, when the last tree dies, the last man will also die. And we don't want to come to that stage.
The buying side need to understand where the gold is coming from. And I'm happy that these days they've started asking.
I see Solidaridad as the basis of it all. They're actually present at the location. It starts with teaching the people, advising the people, helping the people over there, and bringing over the message to us in the West to create awareness and the feeling of responsibility we have towards these people.
It is important that the supply of responsible gold as well as the demand for responsible gold increases. That is the challenge that we have today. So therefore, we as Solidaridad, we work with stakeholders throughout the entire supply chain. We put them in direct contact with mines to buy certified gold, and we engage in partnerships with companies, including public-private partnerships. And if we do this right, we can have a huge impact on many, many lives.
We realize that it's a very slow process. Perhaps in 3 or in 5 or in 10 years, we can increase the volume in a considerable way and to provide the possibility for everybody in the trade to use responsible gold. And with the help of Solidaridad, we hope to increase the volume a lot.
My concluding statement to the gold industry is to see growing collaboration, growing investment, both from the donor community, from the private sector supply chain process holders, and making sure that we keep on pushing the bar for sustainable production and thus increasing the percentage of sustainable gold that is traded globally.